Hi guys, my name is Ram. I'm from Great Learning, and today we're going to be doing a session on Excel from scratch. So, friends, we'll be learning a lot of cool stuff about Excel, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you know something about Excel. At least, you've heard about it. It's a very interesting tool, and a lot of people here every day are using it. And it doesn't matter which industry you're from, you're bound to use it one day or the other. I myself use it a lot, and I have a lot of colleagues and a lot of friends who make use of Excel. So sit down, strap in, and grab a glass of water because we're going to be, going through the basics of Excel and learn a lot about it. Now, before I do begin the session, I want two things from you guys. I want to know whether you guys can see my beautiful face and my screen and whether you guys can hear me properly or not. Or, if there are any things that you guys find off and you guys want me to, correct that. If you're not able to hear me or something like that. Okay, so while you guys give me that confirmation in the chat, which I have open next to me, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys something cool. Now, generally, people who watch our videos, they already know about this, but this is something we do like to tell everyone. This is about Great Learning Academy. Now, we have started this venture called Great Learning Academy to help you guys out. We know because of the COVID situation, a lot of people have lost their jobs, and a lot of people just couldn't find jobs. I mean, slowly we're coming back, but it's still very difficult, right? I'm seeing a lot of freshers not being able to get the job they really want because, the economy is down and the number of job openings have also kind of reduced. So because of that, we have started this particular course academy where you guys can go ahead and get a free certificate for yourself. Now, certificates do matter sometimes, and a lot of times if you have the skills to back up the certificate, then people really respect you. So here at Gridling Academy, you guys can go ahead and search for any course or any domain that you want. Let's say you're interested in Linux. So you will go ahead and type in Linux and you will find a course about Linux in Hindi. Or if we scroll down, you can see that other ventures that are there that are showing over here. And if you guys really like live sessions, we have a lot of live sessions also. Like you guys can see my live session over here. And if you guys want to see any of my future live sessions or any other the trainers future live session, you can go ahead and register and basically get a notification on it. And then again, you have all those courses. So this website is mostly for people who want to enroll for courses and get a free certificate. So we have a lot of courses, and the best part is you don't have to pay anything. Now, I didn't tell you this in the starting, but this is true. It is completely free, and we have started this more to help you than to help us, right? So these courses are completely free. You don't have to pay a single penny or a single paisa at all. The only thing you have to pay with is your mind. You have to come and put that effort and learn about the particular topic that you want to and earn a certificate for yourself. Now, you can go ahead and check out a lot of different categories: data science, machine learning, IT and software. And even if you're into design and if you're into business and digital marketing, those sort of domains, then we have courses for them also. So don't forget to check it out. It's both in Hindi and English, so you might be comfortable in either of these two things, right? So let's come back and let me check the chat, what you guys are talking about. Generally, when we talk about Excel, there's a lot of people, and I do appreciate that. All right, so oh, that's a lot of responses. Okay, so we have Rajat. Hi, Rajat. We have Orville. That okay. So I'm sure you watched the Orville show. It's pretty good. Happy to see people who watching that also. We have Binu. We have Anushka. We have Ashgar. We have Himanshu. We have Hemant. We have Sujit, Ajay, and Omkar. We have Surya Jyoti. Hi, Surya Jyoti. Hi, Beni. We have well, I cannot pronounce this name, so I'm gonna avoid butchering your name. We have Geeta, we have Shivanujan, Drashya. We have a lot of people over here, man. That's a lot of people today. I'm really happy you guys are responding in the chat, and then you guys can hear me properly also. All right, good, good, fine. So I see everyone's responding. That's good, guys. Keep the chat lively and talk to each other. If someone has a doubt and I'm not able to look at the chat because I'm teaching you guys or some other reason, please do feel free to answer their questions. And also, feel free asking any questions that you guys have regarding the basics of Excel, because this topic is for you guys and this is a live session. So I can look at your questions and answer them. So that's the benefit of our live sessions, right? So please feel free to go ahead and leave any comments if you want in the chat. And if you're enjoying the session already, please leave a like. All right. So now let us begin the Excel from scratch. All right. So let us begin. All right. So I want to discuss what is Excel. So guys, tell me, what do you know about Excel? What is it? Go ahead and give me a comment in the chat. Like, what do you think it is, and how do you think it really helps people? I want to know. I want to get an input from you guys. Okay. So I'll be looking at the chat. I'll be waiting. I'll be seeing what you guys have to say. So, what do you really know about Excel? Now we know Excel is that thing you saw in back in school, but you never really opened it, or is that thing your parents or your friends use, but you did not never really thought of using it, or something that has been told to you to use or learn by your friends or your boss or whoever it is, right? So we're getting our answers. So we have I'm gonna pronounce this as Thiru because that's all I can pronounce. I'm so sorry. It's a spreadsheet to store data. So that is a good answer. Then we have Bhagwan saying app through which we can make a list of different programs. Uh, if you extrapolate on it, maybe yeah, it does make sense. Database entry system, somewhat, yeah, right? It stores data, not exactly for storing data, but you're kind of there. Excel's platform to store data in a tabular format. So that is again a closer answer. So the Sujit is saying I have a very clear voice. Thank you, Sujit. And Omkar is saying best for work get easier. That is definitely true. It does help us make our work very easy. So it's a spreadsheet program for entering and manipulating data. So Psycho is totally right. It's a spreadsheet program that allows us to basically, manipulate and manage our data. You don't exactly store your data in a spreadsheet. You basically use it to create a roster, or you use it to manipulate the data, use the data to gain insights and many other different purposes, right? You use Excel in those locations where you want to take a note of something, like if you want to track something, you can create trackers in it. It basically allows you to do performance reviews, monitor things. You can create tabular sheets in which basically you monitor what particular person is doing something or whatever. Any real life object you can bring in, any real life scenario you can bring in, and you can create a tabular form out of that. And you can manipulate that data to get the best inputs or guess the best insights from that data, because you're going to use this data to understand what is going on with something. So let's say there is a small business, and in that small business, there is a lot of different processes. So let's say it's a bakery, and in that bakery, you have one head chef, you have two, three, normal chefs, and you have to make sure that they're getting their salary on time. So it's a small bakery, so they can't really afford a good HR, domain or something. They can just use something that is free or readily available. So they're going to make use of spreadsheet like software, right? And they're going to use that to maintain who's been paid, who's not been paid, and then the logistics of it, like how much bread do we have for today, how much of it has been already been used, and then how much did we sell it for, how much is it there in the reserve. And at the end of the month, we have to perform a review of how our sales went throughout the month, how everything was sold, how well it sold, how well some items did not sell. So you have to keep all of those things in mind, and spreadsheets is a good method for tracking and monitoring all of these particular aspects. So I hope that really cleared out what Excel really is. So again, Grija is saying it is for recording in tabular format. It helps in calculating. So it is a very good calculation tool. And really, to be honest, in this 1 hour of session, I can really only, give you the drop of the ocean what Excel really is. There are so many different things in Excel, but do not be overwhelmed by these so many different things, because if you know the basics, you can just start using it and start making a good use of it. And over time, you'll start learning. Even if you learn Excel for like 10 years and you just keep on using Excel for 10 years, you may not be the master at it. I know people who have done PhD in Excel, right? My dad used to tell me that he had a friend, and that friend basically did a PhD in Excel. I'm not lying, this is the truth. So if you can do a PhD in Excel, imagine, right? And because of Excel, Microsoft Office is so popular, and Microsoft is able to earn a lot of money because of this program they've created for everyone to use. And they've been on top of the game since back in the 80s when they first created it. So it's been like around 40 to 30 years, and still the top program being used every day, right? So guys, do not spam the chat. That really breaks the flow of everything, and a lot of people's questions always get buried in that. So we have a few more answers. We can perform arithmetic conditions, Thiru is saying, to store data easier. Technical things is saying Excel is software you can use for a lot of things like data save. Okay, fine. Yeah, data analysis, documentation. Documentation is also a good thing. All right. All right. I think I'm back online. Sorry guys, there was a power outage, and the mobile data isn't the best over here. Sorry for this delay, guys. Can't do anything about this kind of stuff. I hope you guys can hear me properly again. All right. So those two checks again, guys, if you can hear me and if you can see me properly or not, okay? Then we'll come back. Okay, so let me just continue. I think you guys can see me. I'm seeing numbers over here. That means we are live. So I'm going to click over here, microsoft.com, download Excel. So this is basically where you do download Excel. Now you can try it for free for home and business. Wait. Try it for free for home and business, and either you can buy it. So buying will have obviously the better version, and if you work for a company, then they will provide you the software from the IT team. You can get it from there, or if you are a student, you can always ask your HOD department or your guide teacher or your counselor for the key for the student key for using Microsoft Excel. All right, and there are some other forbidden ways that you guys shouldn't really go for. I'm not going to talk about that. All right, coming back. So this is basically where you get Microsoft is the one that has made it, and once you've downloaded it, you basically get it as a pack of other things. And I have Excel 2016. Let me open it up. Actually, I have it open, and this is what it looks like when you open it up, right? So you have multiple options over here. Over here, I'm going to click on blank workbook because that is the first thing you guys will be working with too. So what is this? There's a lot of things over here. Now I'm sure a lot of you have seen this and have some idea about this, like what Excel is. Like you can enter numbers and everything. But let me go through each of these things one by one. So over here, you see this big grid, right? This is where you are going to be putting your data and manipulating your data in, right? So this is how you will be manipulating your data. You'll be putting it over here. You'll be making tables. You'll be making columns and everything, and you'll be managing it over there. It's not like a normal document, Word document or something. It's got these cells and this grid. So what are the names? Exactly as I just said. This is your grid, and each block over here is called a cell, right? And each cell can contain certain values, and you can use two cells to combine and find the sum and all those things. We will do that, don't worry. And what is this over here? It says sheet 1. So this is called a workbook. Like your workbook can have multiple sheets. It's like having a notebook. In one notebook, you can have multiple pages, and each page can have multiple things that can be interconnected or related to each other. If it's an English notebook, you have English related stuff on each page. Similarly, in this workbook, I have multiple sheets that can be related to the same thing, right? And I can interchange these sheets. I can name these sheets. I can name this sheet class marks, or let's do this practice. If you guys have Excel, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have Excel, do this side by side. It really does help. Okay, I'm gonna put this class marks, and I'm gonna put this discount pricing, right? So mine are not that related. Don't worry. I just want to do this to give you guys examples. So these are called sheets, and this is your workbook. Nice. So over here, what is on the top? These are called ribbons, right? Each ribbon has particular specification what it does. Home has all the different things that you need to manipulate the data, like check the font size. You want to make it bold. You want to italicize it. You want to put on, underscore, underline it. You want to color it, and all those things. You want to put in the middle or on the side, or if you want to justify it, you want to merge particular cells together. You can merge them. You can wrap the text. You can do the numeric formatting. That means if you want a number, so this is 12, do you want it to be dollar? So you can just take this and select dollar, and it will become dollar. So it knows. Excel is pretty smart about this. It is one of the smarter tools out there. And if I put 12 over here, and this time I go ahead and instead of dollars, I can put time, so it becomes time over here, right? So it is again very good and easy for formatting purposes of ours. All right. So now let me show you the other ribbons also. In insert ribbon, you have a lot of multiple options. Now pivot tables is something that you guys will be using a lot. And as the definition reads over here, easily arrange and summarize complex data in pivot table. So it's a little bit more advanced stuff, but it will help you when you get to that kind of level. Okay. All right, then recommended pivot tables, and then you can create tables over here, choose where is your data for the table and all that. And you can create a table. You can insert pictures over here, insert online pictures, then go to store and then charts. You have recommended charts and a lot of different, columns, line charts, and a lot of extra options, hyperlinking, text box, header, footer, none of those things. So it is very flexible, and it can be very overwhelming in the start to look at all of these things. But do not worry. Some of these things you will never use in your life. And I personally have not used a lot of these things in my life, but you can use them, and you will slowly get to learn all of them. So you have, even in formulas is the most powerful area, I would say. You can include a lot of different formulas. So you can include a particular formula if you want to go for recently used, or if you want to use logical stuff. If you want to do logical sort of programming like stuff, you can do that over here also. Some people who don't know coding and still want to use the programming features, right? You can do that in Excel. You can include different text variables, date and time, lookup and references, and many more things. And in data, this is where you can basically manipulate and filter your data. So you have those kind of options over here. If you want to review, this is when you have to review someone else's work, or add something new like a comment or something. This is for that. And viewing gives you extra options basically, right, to look at the data. But this isn't something that you'll be using a lot. Mostly you'll be using home, insert, page formulas, page layout formulas, and data. That's most of the things you'll be using, right? So let's come back over here. Okay. All right. So I want to know something. How many of you guys actually use Excel in your work? Or tell me, why do you want to learn Excel? I want to know that kind of answer from you guys, because I'm really interested to know what kind of crowd is it that we are attracting with this kind of session. So maybe we can come up with better sessions based on Excel in future, so that you guys can learn even more about it. So let me know that in the chat. I'm monitoring if you guys have asked any questions, and we are still connected, right? Yes, we are connected. All right. So let me just show you some things. Let me just put this on the side. Right. So it's the selection over here, right? So these are two cells, and each cell has a name. Every cell in your Excel sheet will have a name. So the first cell, what is the name of the first cell? Can you guys guess what is the name of the first cell? The name of the first cell is A1. So this is the name of my first cell. What is the name of my second cell over here? This is B1, right? Okay, and this is A2. How do I know this? Because we have columns and rows. You have columns that go down horizontal, and vertical you have rows. So this is the first row, this is the second row, and this is the third row. And that's how your columns and rows are, your cells are named. They basically, if we take this particular cell, right, what is the name of this cell? Now you can easily check it out by going over here and seeing. So this is M12. So M is the column, 12 is the row. That's how you do it. Now I'm gonna see the answers for what you my question. Okay, so we have the answers of why do you want to learn Excel. So Shrikant says that for jobs and work in future. That's really good, Shrikant. I hope that you find this session enjoyable. Want to be more familiar for business analysis? Yes, this is used for business analysis a lot. And then we have Maths Hub saying I'm a teacher and I want to develop direct compound interest formulas in Excel to so that it gets easy to verify answer. That is an awesome thing. See, using things for real life applications. That's how you really learn. Once you start applying formulas that you want to use in real life, like MathSub is talking about, then it really becomes easy to do, easier to do things, right? Instead of having to do it manually, this person that is you, MathSub, you're going to be doing it by, making the computer do it. So that's a very good application. For data science course, that's really good. Data science is a very emerging field. Storing data in Excel makes it easy to evaluate. Okay, we have another teacher over here, or maybe just monitoring. To learn MIS reporting. Okay. Want to prepare for a job. I don't see for A1. If you select over here, you will see A1 over here. Job in future, research analysis, entity in real world. Yes, entities in real world can be translated onto your Excel also because it's more important to every field. That's right. I think so too. In almost every field, you will be using Excel, whether you're a developer, whether you're a tester, whether you are a digital marketing guy, whether you're a historian, whether you're a teacher like Maths Hub, or whether you are, just a person who's bringing their own business up. There's so many real life examples, right? So let me just begin. So I told you guys how columns and rows work over here, right? So A is our column. If you select over here, you get to select the whole column, and it can go to a lot of, rows. Like you can just keep on expanding. Now, I'm not exactly sure how many cells there are. I think there's a cell number that you guys can by heart, but there's no need to by heart anything. Okay, you can just Google that thing, how many cells there are in an Excel sheet. Okay, but you guys can see it can go to 1,000 and all. So you can manipulate a very large amount. I hope you guys can hear me again. It shows 18 Mbps, but it really is so slow. All right, fine. So let me start entering data. So over here, I want to show you guys from the start itself. So let's imagine that we are a teacher and we want to note down the statistics of our class. So let's say that we put name over here. That is the first column. Then I'm going to put over here the class they are in. And actually, let's not put the class because we all know that it's going to be one class. Let's say how many marks they earned in subject 1. Then now the neat thing over here is that Excel is very smart. So if I take this cell over here and I just expand it, right? If I go to C, you will see that it's become subject 1 to subject 2 because it normally do. It understands that they want to add more columns with similar names. So if I have 3 subjects in my mind, I'm going to, and I just keep on expanding till the D column and I get subject 3 over here, right? So it's really helpful in that scenario. Now, in the names, let me just pick some names from the chat. So we have Thiru and we have Satyam. Hello, Kashyap. Good to see you again. I hope you really find these sessions productive. We have Shruti. Okay, 3 names are good enough, right? So subject 1, let's say that subject 1, I don't really need to put the names for them. You guys get the point. So subject 1, let's say that you scored 78, this person scored 65, and this person scored 89. So we know that Shruti is doing better in subject 1 than everyone else. Then we have Thiru doing bad in subject 2, and then Satyam doing very well in subject 2, and Shruti doing all right in subject 2. But in subject 3, everyone does bad. Everyone gets around 46, 54, and 55, because subject 3 is very tough. Right? So this is these, and let's make it a little bit more visible for everyone. So what we can do is we can select this, and we can select the, and I'm going to make this dark, right? Okay, so these are the names, and we can highlight these also with a lighter. Yeah. Okay, cool. So these are the marks that these people have earned. Okay, now let's do total marks. And there is a very easy way to see total marks, and you guys can see that it automatically colored it also, because it knows that this is the same column line. Over here, what we're going to do is we're going to add these things up. So how can we do that? We can visually look at it and add it up, or we can open up our calculator and add it up. But I'm not going to do any of that, because that is very again. Guys, please bear with me. This might happen, but I still want to do this session because I'm enjoying talking to you guys about this, and I'm pretty sure that you guys are finding something informative. Okay, so I'm just going to explain all of it again. So what I'm doing is basically I selected this over here, right? So over here, like someone mentioned in the chat, I think it was Kashyap. They mentioned that you can take these individually also. So I can say B3 plus C3 plus D3, right? And I can add all of these things up. So again, I get the same answer I want with this also, right? But the thing is that I have to do it individually. Now, for 3 subjects, it's fine. But when it comes to 10 subjects or something, it's a little bit tedious and it is not very, easy to do. So instead of doing the plus over here, when it goes more than 2, so go by the rule of thumb where if it's more than 2 things you have to add, just take the range of it. So instead of adding it up individually, so just do B3 colon D3. So it will automatically detect. So this is something I like to call the Excel magic, right? There is something else also. I'll just delete this and I'll take this cell and I'll just pull this down. And you guys can see it automatically calculated everything. It automatically took the formula and automatically understood that this is what it has to do. So this is what I really, really love about Excel, that you can just do this, and it's very easy. Now, obviously, it wasn't very easy for the developer who had to develop this, but hats off to him and hats off to the whole team, because we are able to do something really awesome, really fast. And you guys can see that how easy it has become. So this is awesome. We have calculated the total marks for each of these students. Now, if you go to total subject marks, if I do equal to sum over here, and this time instead of writing it down, I can just select it, and you can see it automatically detects it over here. And I can just drag it down and close it, and I get this. And again, I can drag this cell over here. I get the sum. Now you can even get the total marks in the class obtained. So this can be the total marks in the class obtained. Now, total marks possible. So for each subject, it is 300, right? Every student can earn only 300 in like out just total marks, right? Total marks they can earn is 300. That is the maximum mark, or instead of maximum total, I'll say max mark possible, max marks possible. All right, so it's 300, right? And over here, we have calculated. Now let's do the average also. So I will just say average of each subject. Now the teacher, as a teacher, you might need to calculate the average of each subject, right? So over here, what we're going to do is we're going to type equal to average, and we're going to select the formula, right? And then we're going to mention these marks, close it. Okay, why is it not showing the average? Okay, because it's got the time formatting. Let's do normal formatting. Okay, now it is showing it. All right, so this is it showing the average scored for subject 1. What is the average of the class? It was 77. Let's name these, it becomes easy. Maths. This is English. This is, what is the toughest subjects for you guys? I'm going to say the toughest for me was physics. So I'm just going to say it is physics. Okay. Okay, so the average for maths was 77, and average for English was, we can just drag it again, and we can see the average. So the average was English was 74, and average for physics was 51. So this class is really good at maths. They're all right at English, but they really bad at physics. Okay, and we can even do the total average also. So I'll just expand this, and the average that was earned in class was 200. So again, to differentiate these, we can color them. So average, I'm going to do a blue coloring, right? And total, I'm going to do a green one, right? So that it is easy for us to understand. So again, now it becomes very easy for everyone to understand what is what here. So this is why Excel is so awesome. You can do so many things over here and have, and you can just have a lot of different answers that you want. Now, so this was a set of very simple formulas. So what if we wanted to do something little bit more complicated, right? So let's say we wanted to calculate the percentage. Now percentage again isn't something very complicated, but I still want to calculate how much percentage does this guy earn totally, because we want to pass him or not. So let's say, how do we calculate the percentage? We take this. So let's start writing the formula. So we can directly start writing any custom formula also. So just type in equal to and start writing the formula you want to. Okay, so I'm going to take the total marks. So I'm going to select this. So I've selected E2 and I'm going to divide it. So I'm going to use a backslash and I'm going to mention G2, right? So this way I get a little bit, and then uh, I will put this in parenthesis, and I will multiply this into 100, right? So I get 56 over here. So this is the percentage that this person has earned in his class, which isn't really great, but it is all right, yeah? Okay, so I will just drag it down. So I get the percentage for others also. Now you guys see that there is an issue that is happening over here, that is dividing by 0. So why is this happening? Because if you select the formula, you will see that it is selected the down possible, right? It is selected the cell that is down. Now it thinks that it is fine, but we don't want it, because we don't want to divide anything by 0, because G3 doesn't have any value. So what we can do over here is we can make this static. So we can make Excel understand that we want this to remain static while this key can keep on going down. So what we will do is we will add something called a dollar symbol over here. So dollar $G2 will tell Excel that G, that is the column G, has to be static, and we want the row to be static also because we want this value to be static. So when you want one singular value to be static, you mention both the column and both the row to be static, right? Static means it remains there and Excel will understand to take only this value. Whereas E2 value will change. It will become E2, E3, E4, right? Now, if I press enter, we still get the same value, but if I pull this down, you guys can see we're getting the percentages that these people have earned. Now, if I select over here, you guys can see that E3 is selected, whereas and G3 is G1 is selected, sorry, G2, and again here E4 and G2 is selected, right? So this is how you can work, and I think this is called absolute referencing. So you can see how easy it is. Now we could have, what we could have done is we could have just pulled 300 down and all, and then we could have done the formula, right? Instead of putting in the static variables over here, if I just remove this now, and if I do this, again I get the same answer, but then it's something interesting and it has different use cases also. Now, whether these guys failed or did they pass, so I have to put that grade also as a teacher. So I will go ahead and say pass or fail, right? Okay, so for this I'm going to use an conditional. So I'm going to go over to formulas and I'm going to use logical, and I'm going to go if, right? So it opens up a whole UI for me to see. So the logical test, what is the logical test? So we're going to select f value, f2 over here, and let's say that the passing grade is above 70. So if f2 is less than 70, if f2 is less than 70, is if that particular value is true, then the value over here will be fail, right? And if it is pass, then we'll put pass. Okay, all right. So let me just put okay, and it says that he failed because his value is less than 70. Now if I pull this down, the Excel magic will happen and you guys can see that these people passed, right? So this is what we wanted to know. Just hold on a second, guys. So I hope this was I hope this was enlightening for you guys, where we can use if conditionals, and as a teacher, it becomes very easy. I don't have to calculate anything. I would actually say that if any of you is a teacher, I think you should start using this because this will really help you out. Okay, so this was using as conditionals, and here we use referencing. Now I want to expand a little bit more on referencing and tell you guys a little bit more, and I will go into it over here in discount pricing. So let's actually take this, and there's one more cool thing I want to show you guys is that if you select something, you can always move it, right? And none of the things will change. So that is another awesome thing about Excel. You can copy this, you can come to class marks and paste it here, right? This is what we wanted. All right, cool. So this was us talking about class marks. Now there is one more thing I want to mention. Let's take this and let's do a highlighting. Let's say how bad were their marks. So we can do conditional formatting in which we color their marks, right? So this tells us which was the lowest mark they scored. We can do the same with the rest also. We can just copy this and take the format painter and paint the rest of the cells. And you guys can see that they also scored. We can also see the score marks of there also. So 99 was the highest for Satyam, 54 was the lowest, and 65 was the average. And 89 was the highest for Shruti, 78 was the second highest, and 55 was the lowest. So you can see that Shruti did overall the best, but that is all right. Marks really don't matter. It's about your skills and your passion about certain things. That's me putting my own motto on you guys. All right, so we can also do a lot of different formulas. So there is min max formula. So who got the highest marks in the maths? So we can do max over here, and I can type min over here, and I can do an equal to max, and it will take these values, close them. 89 was the highest. We can stretch this to know who got the highest in English. Highest English was 99. Highest in physics was 55. We can do the opposite over here. We can put min, open brackets, select these, close the brackets, and we can just stretch this out. 65, 45, and 46 was the lowest. So this is how you can go ahead and work with that. And let me show you one more thing. If I do 1, 2, 3, 4, and I just keep on stretching these, right? So it goes to 15. And here also conditional formatting would look a little better. You can see how it goes from 1 is the lowest and 15 is the highest. Now, if I want, I can change this to 1 to have 1 to be the highest, the opposite, right? So you have different kinds of conditional formatting. So this is also very helpful because visual aids are very important to humans because we are dumb when we see just a number of just numbers, right? So we want to visualize. And there is another thing that we can do to visualize. If I take this and I go to insert and I click on chart. So let's say we want a pie chart and we select the pie chart, and here we can see the total amount of marks scored, right? So we can see Satyam scored this much, but this is generally used when you have like a singular total. So in maths, maybe the total is 300, and out of 300, actually, this does not work very well, but I'm just showing you can even make charts also over here. And there is another interesting thing that if you select some group, you will always have a quick analysis option over here, or you can just press Control Q. So all the things that I showed you over here, if you want to add like formatting, data bars, if you want to do color, if you want to do icon set, if you want to add greater than, less than, those kind of things, or if you want to go and add more charts, if you want to do a line chart to get to see the marks of these students, how do they fluctuate based on maybe time. So instead of maths, English, physics, we only have maths, and we have multiple tests of maths. So in first maths test, Satyam scored this much, in second he's third, and third and fourth he scored this much. So we can see their growth and this thing, so we can see any trend. So this is again very useful to understand how a particular student is scoring or not, right? Okay, chalo. So this was another example. Now I will come to discount pricing, and guys, we will learn absolute referencing or referencing, right? So let me go ahead and put the product. So let me just fill this in, and then I will come to answering all of your questions you guys have any. Product B, discount. We will be taking the example of that baker that I was talking about earlier. Actual price, price on day 1, price on day 2. I can even expand these columns to have these. And there's one more cool thing I can do. I can go ahead and merge. Oh yeah, let me just show you one more thing, guys. You can take a particular column or a table and you can add borders to it. So adding borders is the option is over here. So over here, I'm going to open this borders and I'm going to do thick borders outside or outside borders. So you guys can see now this has a border, right? And maybe I can do a small table for this also. And for minimum and maximum, I can also add a border. So it becomes very easy, right? And even on the inside, if I want, there is an option for all borders. And even for this, there is an option for all borders. I'm not going to add that. Let's add all borders for these, and you can see how visually distinct it has become, right? So over here, that's also what I'm going to do. So let's imagine that you are a baker and you have two products, product A and product B. So let's get these names. It becomes easier for you guys to understand. So product, or let's say blueberry pie, and let's call this gulab jamun. If you guys don't know this sweet, it's an Indian sweet that a lot of people like, me personally included, right? And we're gonna go ahead and add pricing to this. So I'm gonna add 120 rupees over here, and I'm gonna add 10 rupees because maybe one gulab jamun is like 10 rupees, or maybe it's a fancy shop and we can make it 50 rupees. Okay, now let's add some formatting over here. So general, I'm gonna do currency. Now in currency, I want a specific currency. Um, it doesn't have Indian currency. Okay, it will have Indian currency. INR, right? Okay, so it is 120 rupees and it is 50 rupees. It doesn't have the new rupee wala currency. All right. So what I have decided as a baker is that my actual price of blueberry pie and gulab jamun is going to be this. But on holidays, I want to implement a system where I have discount for certain days. So let's say that I am celebrating 2-day Diwali. So price on day 1 of Diwali and price of day 2 on Diwali. So it can be Chota Diwali and Bada Diwali, right? So over here, I'm going to say that I'm giving 10% discount for Choti Diwali and I'm giving 20% discount for Big Diwali, right? Now, so I want to calculate how much of both my blueberry pie and gulab jamun are going to cost in each of these days. Now, there is something very simple I can do is I can do this manually, but we want to use Excel magic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reference these and we're going to learn how we can go ahead and do the referencing over here. So first, let me try a normal formula and then we'll adjust it so that it fits our requirements. So let me just push these over here. All right, I think this is good enough. All right, so 120 rupees, right? So I'm gonna select this cell. I'm gonna put equal to, and we have to calculate the total price, right? So total price on actual price on day 1 will be percentage 120. So let me put B and 2. So B2 minus, we'll open brackets, B2 into D6, right? Because once we calculate the discount percentage, so 120 is 10% we have calculated, and you have to subtract it from 120. That's how we get the actual price. If I press enter, so we get 108 rupees. So that is the actual price of blueberry pie on day 1. Now, we know that if we stretch it, we will get it for the other two also. So let me stretch it and let's see if we get the accurate answer or not. We're not getting any answer. Why is that so? So let's troubleshoot. I'm going to select over here and I'm going to see which all cells it has selected. It has selected C2 cell and it has selected E2 cell. Now E6 cell. So the E6 cell is correct, but it is selecting C2 cell, which we don't want it to do. We want it to only select the B2 cell, this cell, right? So do we go and manually change it? Obviously, we can go ahead and manually change it. But the thing is, we are trying to use the Excel magic for this. And if there's a lot of products, what do you do then? So for that purpose, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this and we're going to try and do make a change to our formula. Now, earlier, if you guys remember, when I was doing for the 307, this one, right, this formula where I was using, where I was making G2 static, right, we're going to do the same thing again over here. So I'm going to double click on this. Sorry. I'm going to double click this and I want my B column to remain static. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and make this cell static. To make this cell static, I'm going to do $B $2. So this will remain the same, even if I expand it to the sideways. And it does benefit me because I want this cell to remain. And now it won't become C2. If we expand it, we get a value because it is taking B2 and it is taking E6 because we made B2 static, right? So we can just take this and pull this down itself, right? But then we're not getting the answer we wanted. Why is this so? Let's debug. Again, it's taking B2 and now it's going down to D7. So we don't want that to happen. We want it to remain static on row 6. So we have to again make a change over here. So we need to remove the static situation of row 2 and now our column B is static. That means that it can go down. Excel can go down, but it can't go sideways, right? Because row is, sorry, it cannot go sideways, but column B can remain static. So if we pull this down, it will choose column B3. It will choose B3, right? The row is not static, so row can change, whereas the column cannot change. So it cannot go sideways, but it can go down and all. Fine, so that works. But now again, if we pull it down, this column or this cell D6 will become D7. So we need to make sure that this row is also static. So I'm going to come over here and put a dollar symbol over here also. So this way our column B remains static and our column row C6 remains static, because this is where our values are. So let me press enter, and now I'm going to pull this down, and we can see that the price is 42 now, which seems a little bit more obvious. And you can see that it is correctly selecting the values. So if we just pull this in front also, we can see that we're getting the right values. So on price on Chota Diwali will be 108 for blueberry pie, and gulab jamun will be 45. And if we come to Big Diwali, and here it will be 50, and it is 20% of 50, so it is 40 rupees. So this is how you will effectively calculate all these values, right? I hope this made it clear for you guys. All right, so we are out of time today, so I'm just going to go ahead and answer any questions you guys have, and then we'll end the session. I hope you guys found this informative, this session, and thank you. Let me just put that up. Thank you. All right. And I'm so sorry for the networking issues. I know it wasn't really in my hands, it was in my ISP's hand, but all I can do is apologize. So let's see. Guys, please go ahead and put any questions you have in the chat. I'm gonna travel to answer as many as I can in the 5 minutes we have. All right. So dollar symbol, if condition, dollar symbol. Yes, Kashyap is right. Dollar symbol before the letter makes the column static, and dollar symbol before the row makes the row static. Again, let me just explain it again. Over here, B column is static because we in row 6 you can move to another column. You can go from column D to column F, column E, but you cannot go down. You can't go down. So again, B in column B you can go to row 3 and row 2, but you cannot go sideways. So this is basically us telling Excel that you have restraints and follow these restraints. You cannot go beyond this particular boundary. AQ. Yes, there will be another session on Excel, but it again depends on how much you guys want it. So if a lot of you want it, then please go ahead and leave a like and leave a comment that you want another session to give you more detail about this, because I certainly love doing it, but it's difficult to do it when there's only like 2, 3 people watching, right? So if there's a large crowd who wants it and you have to show it, like go ahead and like. I see that there are 100 likes. Maybe if you can bring it up to 150, and if you guys leave more comments, we'll definitely come up with more sessions. But even if you guys don't, I will try my best to bring more sessions on Excel as much as possible, right? Because I really find these amazing, and to be honest, I'm myself learning a lot teaching you guys about this. So, do you guys have any questions? So, Mickey Sharma is saying day two discount. Yeah, so day two discount, if we just stretch it, right? Now, the reason why we did that is because we want to use the stretching possibilities, right? And again, if we stretch it over here, if we look at the actual price, the blueberry pie remains constant, but there is no third day discount. If we added a third day discount, let's see what happens. Value, but maybe it's not in the correct formatting. Okay, it is 84, right? I can go ahead and push this also. Yeah. Okay, I think that's enough. So this way you can add more variables if you ever wanted to. Ajay is asking, please share the course material. So the moderator will share the course material with you, but there's not a lot in course material, to be honest, Ajay. Actually, what you should do is you should go and register, and I will try to put up all of this information that I have on the course material. Yeah. So the moderator will leave a link. You guys can go ahead and register, and you'll find the course session material. Let me just save this. Oh yeah, one more thing. Let me just show you saving also. So you just control S and you browse and you go wherever you want. I'll go to downloads, or I'll go to desktop, and I'll save this. You can give your workbook a name. Yeah, so I've saved this live session workbook and I'll make sure that it's uploaded so you guys can go ahead and check it out. Okay, so Miki Sharma is asking showing day two discount. So there is no formula for day two discount, but if I'll show it for blueberry pie. Yeah, so you guys can see. All right, guys, if you don't have any more questions, I will go ahead and end the session. Okay. But if you guys have any more sessions, we have like 1, 2 more minutes. You can still ask me if you guys have any more questions, huh? When about Python? Wiki Game is asking about Python. If you want a particular live session on Python, we do have those live sessions on Python. Again, go to greatlearning.com .in/academy. This is where, or just type in Great Learning Academy on Google. We have an app also if you want, and you guys can see view all the live sessions over here. So we have a lot of live sessions. There is an amazing live sessions on Saturday. If you guys want to watch, is by Abhinandan Sarkar. He's a very well-known, faculty, and he's really awesome. You should check it out. So again, Mr. Bernie is doing a session on 13th February. That is Saturday. So you guys can go ahead and check this out. All right. Okay. So you can register, and if you register, you'll get a notification on it. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed watching this, not watching, I really enjoyed teaching you guys, and I really love that this chat was very interactive, and we had a lot of people coming in, and we used a lot of names. I've seen a lot of names before also, and a lot of new names were there, and I really enjoyed teaching you guys. It was an awesome experience. Excel is also always awesome. So I'll leave you with the thought that Excel is an amazing tool, and it can be incorporated into almost any field you're working in. Doesn't matter what field you're working in. Again, developer, artist, business owner, data scientist, if you are working in digital marketing, sales, business development, a mechanical engineer, or I don't know any names in that field, but I'm just saying, right? You can use it there. Okay. So thank you so much for watching, guys. My name is